Are you tired of watching the DPS have all the fun whilst you stand back healing? Do you want a build that lets you do high damage whilst also healing your team? Then let me introduce you to Voidblade's Vengeance. Voidblade's Vengeance is an aggressive healer build focused on dealing damage through Voidblade whilst maintaining healing through the life staff. This results in a healing experience that almost feels like you're playing as a DPS. So what makes Voidblade's Vengeance? We start with Vengeance. Vengeance is the Life Staff artifact. The unique perk of Vengeance is Nature's Vengeance. This provides a 1% damage buff for 10 seconds each time you heal and can stack up to 20 times. At max stacks, this provides a 20% damage buff. Given that we will be using some AoE heals, we often reach the max stacks in a matter of seconds. This perk also works on both weapons. This is key to the build. This means when we switch to our second weapon, we keep the buff. We can also gain the buff when healing using our second weapon. Vengeance comes with the perks Keen Beacon, Refreshing Move, and Enchanted. For the final perk, we have added Blessed for extra healing. Now we have gained the 20% damage buff, we need a weapon to utilize it. To that end, for our second weapon, we will be using a Void Gauntlet. For the perks, we are using Keen, Vicious, and Arboreal Attunement. The aim of the build is to use the skill Voidblade to deal big damage. Therefore, any Void Gauntlet with 3 damage perks is viable for this build. For our armor, we are in a light equip load to maximize healing output. For our helm, we are using Health, Enchanted Ward, and Shirking Fortification. For our chest, we are using Health, Enchanted Ward, and Fortifying Sacred Ground. For our gloves, we are using Enchanted Ward, Refreshing, and Shirking Fortification, and for our boots, we are using Enchanted Ward, Refreshing, and Slash Conditioning. For our legs, we are using the artifact Attuned Leather Pants. Attuned Leather Pants' unique perk, while rounded, provides plus 10 to all attributes. It also comes with plus 40 Magnify attributes. These extra attributes are key to allow us to hit certain attribute threshold bonuses, which we will cover later. Attuned Leather Pants comes with Refreshing and Elemental Aversion. For the final perk, we have added Health. For our amulet, we are using Health and an Element Protection perk that matches the element of the mutation we are doing. For the ring, we are using Hearty, Sacred, and Void damage. This unique combination of Sacred and Void damage provides a boost to both our healing output and damage output. For the earring, we are using Healthy Toast, Refreshing, and Refreshing Toast. As stated earlier, thanks to Attuned Leather Pants, we have some extra attributes that allow us to hit some key attribute threshold bonuses. For this build, we are using 25 Strength, 25 Dex, 200 Intelligence, 325 Focus, and 100 Con. Our primary role is still to heal our team. As such, high focus is still needed. 325 Focus not only gives us sufficient healing output, it also allows us to use this build in the group finder, as in order to queue as a healer for M2s, you need at least 325 focus. 200 int provides us with the key bonus of mana on critical hits. This bonus is incredibly useful, allowing us to spam our skills without mana issues. Each int threshold bonus prior to this also buffs the damage we will be doing with Voidblade. 100 Con provides us with a healthy health pool, and provides the attribute threshold bonus of plus 10% to max health. 25 strength provides plus 5% to light attack damage, and 25 dex provides plus 5% to critical hit chance. These will both buff our damage output, and thanks to attuned leather pants, only required 10 attribute points each. For our skills, on the life staff we are using Beacon, Sacred Ground, and Splash of Light. Beacon and Sacred Ground provide excellent AoE healing. As a majority of DPS play melee, AoE healing helps heal all of the team at once, and also quickly gets us to the max stacks on Nature's Vengeance. Splash of Light provides a more powerful instant heal, and is useful for healing ranged DPS or when the team is spread out. For the Void Gauntlet, we are using Void Blade, Oblivion, and Orb of Decay. Void Blade is our main source of damage. This allows us to attack in melee, dealing void damage whilst inflicting damage over time and rend to enemies. Oblivion provides damage over time, empower, weaken, and stamina regen. Orb of Decay provides healing, damage over time, rend, mana regen, and slow. The main combo will be to use Fortifying Sacred Ground and Beacon on the tank, then switch to the Void Gauntlet, use Oblivion, Orb, and then Void Blade. As we will be attacking in melee range, we will also receive the healing from our Sacred Ground and Beacon. Let's now take a look at some of the pros and cons of the build. Starting off with the pros. High damage output. For a healer, this build provides a very high damage output. Excellent debuffs and buffs. This build provides rend and weaken to enemies, and fortify, empower, and stamina regen to allies. Multi-role. This build gives the feeling of playing two roles at once, both DPS and a healer. Now let's take a look at some of the cons of the build. High skill. This is one of the more difficult healer builds to use. As you are in light armor, melee range with low con, you are more likely to take damage. It is a balancing act of knowing when to concentrate on healing and when to concentrate on damage. Key awareness of your skill cooldowns is required, ensuring Sacred Ground is always up on your tank. Less healing than alternatives. Whilst the build does provide sufficient healing, other builds will provide more. One reason for this is the use of Vengeance. A typical healing lifestaff would use the perk Blessed for 12% healing buff, and slot a Diamond gem for 15% healing buff whilst at full health. However, Vengeance does not come with either of these. Whilst we can add one of these as our final perk, we can only have one. Additionally, other healing builds may use more focus, which would again increase healing. That's it for the video. If you have any questions about the build, drop a comment below and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.